Hello, my super sleuths, and all those of you trying to find out what's really going on. Here's a post from XJW Reddit. It's in the public domain, so I am sharing it further. I guess you're going to know the headline. That's why I'm sharing it. You're depressed because you don't go to meetings. Becomes a catch-22. You're depressed if you go to meetings. If you don't go, you get shunned and put down more, which is going to also make you depressed. So here's the original message. You can see it. My mum was convinced that the only cure for me was the Kingdom Hall. You're going to know that, guys. It was truly aggravating to hear because I was actually depressed because of the meetings. What kid wants to hear that their life isn't going to go anywhere? I'm convinced that only elder folks benefit from the meetings because of the everlasting life message. For children, it's absolutely terrifying because all you want to do is relax, be normal, and grow. Now, that paragraph in itself, there's so much dialogue can come from that. From as oldies to new ones, and what we were like when we were young and hearing this. Seriously. So they go on, you have so many dreams and interests, and all you can hear is, you're not going to even graduate primary school. And people have been hearing that, of course, for flaming, flipping decades. It's so mentally draining for a child, though, right? It's so unhealthy, and it made me grow into an anxious mess. Of course, yeah. My dad couldn't even help himself. Every single plan I took about, he'd have to intervene and say, oh, well, if this system lasts that long. Like, what the F? I really just wanted to be normal. I wish I knew that I'd die and stay dead. Oh. Every single mental health issue that I struggle with is Borg related. I'm just so angry. That's appropriate. I wish my parents left me out of their BS. I'm convinced that they don't love me. I'm that kid that never got, taken to the doctor for checkups. Oh, honey, I know that one. I wasn't brought up a J-dub, but I know that one. You're so sick. I used to have blood coming up my ears. Oh my goodness, and just wasn't taken to the doctor. It's horrible. And they're saying they definitely didn't love me. Oh, sweetheart. Now I'm an adult that is barely functioning because nobody prepared me to live this long in reality. Every single wound I had, they just cover it with lies. Oh, someone died? Don't cry. You'll see them again if you're good enough. I wish I could go back and help my younger self. I really do. No child deserves that. Sometimes I get really angry and sometimes I feel bad for my parents. I don't usually feel this way often. I suppose I'm just stressed because writing this helped a bit. Like, I'm just so onto this. So so many responses. You've got here from 5'8" lady. All Sunday meetings follow this exact format. Negative talk, negative talk, negative talk. And see, the world think they can solve these problems, but they can't. Negative talk, negative talk. Speaker tells random joke. Fake laughter from audience. Negative talk, negative talk. All this be solved by coming to the meetings and following Jehovah. End of talk. Applause from audience. Look at all the upvotes that got. I like this debunker. You forgot the part where they give you a dictionary definition of a word that even 5-year-olds understand. Oh, yes. Oh. And after that, welcome to the Watchtower Study, where you'll be answering 5-year-olds' questions, where every single question could be answered with, Jehovah did it. Oh, I was depressed at meetings. I counted ceiling times. First time I did not go to a meeting right after fading. I felt relieved and happy. Oh, someone says what you wrote is exactly what many of us feel. It was beautifully expressed. Some days I can live with my losses and roll the punches, but other days I just want to send a Terminator back in time to find Charles T. Russell and kill him. Take out Rutherford, Nora, Franz while you're at it, or Franz while you're at it, just to make sure. I would go for Miller himself. Now, this is interesting. I was having trauma therapy this week, which is not particularly centered around J-dubs, but it connects so much with your experiences, but this particular thing is so connected with J-Dubs, and I'm like, ah. And I was talking about the Millerites, and how I was talking to the therapist. God, they must have been so bored about how it grew from that movement, and all these many sects that came from that. Incredible, incredible. And for just yourselves who want to look into that, there's the video. Kim and Mikey have it. Shoots. What is it? Shoots and Cahoots. If you just put Shoots Cahoots Kim and Mikey, you'll find it. Pretty amazing. And they had huge in the 1800s. They had huge predictions that the war was going to end. And when it didn't, wait for this, the ultimate euphemism, they called it the Great Disappointment. That's just. Now, someone says it wasn't Russell. I would say it was, but that he left. There was the whole aspect that he tried to leave a structure for the org afterwards, which Rutherford destroyed. But I would argue that it's from Russell, because he was just and he swore, a flippin' egomaniac. He was a narcissist. I mean, he thought that he was mentioned in the Bible. He was misogynist. He probably was an abuser of an underage, at least one underage woman. He extremely maltreated his wife, trying to cut her off from anyone speaking to her, tried to cut her off from monies, and court cases show that. So that's where I am on that. Someone else says they'd fantasized about going back in time. Get Doctor Who on that. Please do go through the whole thread yourself and have a look. You don't have to be a member of Reddit to go on and have a look. So Terra Tomazone, Blood Smurf. Ooh. In my upbringing, any time I had a question that my mother couldn't answer, any subject that may require a modicum of human thought processing, her eyes would kind of glaze over and she'd say, "Well, I don't care, because I know Jehovah is going to destroy this system of things." Now that sentence just makes me want to pound my forehead against a wall, I'm sorry. Yep, conversation killer. I eventually learned to stop trying, which wasn't that easy because I was growing and learning, yes. And it wasn't like I could just deny having questions. Yeah. We are programmed to question as we're growing. That's how we learn. Oh, but one of the ways we learn, an example is another way. I just had to remind myself that I knew better than to even ask them. That's sad. That's sad. You said almost how I feel despite having a great father and a complicated but loving relationship with my mother. I can't help but feel a ton of resentment at them for not realizing, even to this day, that they raised me in a cult, which has detrimentally affected my life and diminished my potential. Here's a very good response. I had a breaking point when I was a teen, when I realized that the homosexual feelings I had were never going to go away. It was a terribly haunting moment where I died a lot inside. Now, thanks to a great therapist, I send puppies to my rescue as I remember that awful moment in my past, and I picture my adult self sitting on the floor, encouraging my teen self surrounded by puppies. I get that. I did get that. Don't let the Borg take the rest of your life. They got the first of it, but what remains is yours. That process, they're just putting it in very sketchy terms, but that process they're talking about, it can be very much part of healing, and other therapists may take some of you through that and have already. No, actually, I always felt worse after going to the meeting, because it reminded me how sucky my spirituality, in quotes, was by their standards, and how near impossible doing well religiously was for me to meet. Oh, here's another not getting medical stuff person. Yep, never saw a doctor as a kid unless I needed stitches. And I knew I'd never get through Armageddon. I wasn't good enough. Yes, you were always. Right now, there are thousands of witnesses dying of old age who were told they wouldn't graduate high school. Yes, yes, yes. They'll be telling your grandkids the end is nigh. Right, well, thank you so much for sharing and all the comments. To say it's in the public domain, you can have a look, join or not. But I'm sure it will help some people. Thank you, as always, for your time. Lots of love. Bye bye.